Hey guys, Dr. Brown here, and tonight we're going to integrate 4x squared plus x plus 1 divided by 4x cubed plus x. You know the rules. We have U sub, trig sub, integration by parts, partial fractions, power reduction, long division, and completing the square method of quadratics. And I think about method of quadratics, which really means just a different way to organize the equation that we see such that we can do something with it. That's just my own coined phrase there. So in this case, when I looked at this particular problem, I have a simple rule for myself. When in doubt, factor. Okay, so I factored the denominator. So I ended up with the integral of 4x squared. Well, let me factor the denominator first. Factor the x out. I end up with 4x squared plus 1. Well, I have a 4x squared and a 1 up here, so I rearrange those like that. Now, and then I said, okay, I'm just going to integrate that plus the integral of x over x 4x squared plus 1 dx. You know, if you have a plus b over c, that's a over c plus b over c. Same situation here. So that's how I broke out the fraction. Well, hey, guess what? 4x squared plus 1 divided by 4x squared plus 1, those wipe out, and I end up with the integral of dx over x. We know how to do that. This one, the x's cancel, and I'm left with the integral of dx over 4x squared plus 1. Okay, so I've got a natural log of x here. That's this integral. Plus what? If I look at this 4x squared, and I said, well, I'm going to let that be 2x parentheses squared. And what does that look like? Looks like a tangent. Tangent squared plus 1 would be secant squared, right? So let 2x equal tangent theta. Now it would be a tangent theta if this number were any other number than 1. Okay, so if I take the derivative of both sides, I have 2 dx equals secant squared theta d theta. So I need to replace the dx, so dx equals 1/2 secant squared theta d theta. So let me do that here. So dx, put the 1/2 to the outside, secant squared theta d theta over 2x parentheses squared now is tangent squared theta plus 1. Hey, what is tangent squared theta plus 1? Secant squared. So those cancel. I'm left with the 1/2 the integral of d theta, which is what? Theta. So I have natural log x plus 1/2 theta. All right, let's draw our triangle. There's theta. And we said 2x is tangent theta, so that's 2x over 1, right? 2x over 1 is tangent, so opposite over adjacent. So theta then would be tangent inverse of 2x. So all of this equals natural log x plus 1/2 tangent inverse 2x plus c. And that would be how I would manipulate that problem to make it simpler. So how did I eat the elephant? Broke it into pieces and one bite at a time. Why are we doing this? Together we're trying to build a better tomorrow through math. So keep studying, and we'll talk to you next time. Thanks.